Hey, Bueller, slow your roll, guy.
You are Locked On A's, your daily Oakland A's podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day. I am your host, Booney. That's right, one name. Episodes will drop Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. That's Oakland time, Vegas time, and yes, Sacramento time. Whether you are on your way to work, driving back from work, or listening casually during the day, thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day. I'm from the Bay Area, and I've been a diehard A's fan since 1981. I'm here to bring you a real fan's take, covering everything from Oakland to Sacramento to Las Vegas. This is the place for A's fans to get the latest game breakdowns, team news, and more. This is where the passion of the fans take center stage. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. And please hit that subscribe button wherever you are following the show. This episode is brought to you in part by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. I have spoken about the kid in the past, and his name is again in the news. This time, not for the Las Vegas Aviators, but representing Team USA in the Premier 12 tournament. And Colby Thomas has heads turning. That's later. The A's have not made any news with any notable signings this offseason, but they are working. They are getting after it. David Forst is on the phone, which is optimistic in the sense that they are trying to get better. Let's take a look at the strategy the A's must take and players that make sense based on their strategy. First, the A's reached out to Walker Buehler to see if there was an interest in coming to Sacramento. And without even seeing an offer, Buehler was not interested. First and foremost, relax, Walker. If the Dodgers season ended against the Padres after your one outing against the Padres, you are on your hands and knees begging to come to Sacramento. But they didn't, and you ended up closing out the World Series looking a little like your old self. Now you have the world in your palms, and I guess can make that type of statement as far as not wanting anything to do with Sacramento. What's worrisome is that a middle of the road free agent at best dismissed the A's without even seeing an offer. What is more worrisome is that no free agents want to play for the A's or in a minor league ballpark. Now, let's be real. Sutter Health Park isn't exactly the bright lights of the MLB. It's a cozy 14,000 seat venue, great for minor league baseball, but not the type of place free agents dream of calling home. I mean, Buehler's talking to the New York Yankees and him thinking about pitching at Sutter Health or Yankee Stadium isn't much of a comparison. But this really isn't about Buehler. The temporary stint in Sacramento is a tough sell for any top-tier free agent. Imagine if you're an elite player in your prime Do you want to spend the next few years playing in a triple A ballpark where your clubhouse is behind the left field fence, knowing you might not see a permanent home before 2028? But before I go forward, this reminds me of when I had Scott Feldman on the show, who is a 17-year MLB veteran, and I asked him if he would sign with the A's if he was offered a contract to play in a minor league stadium. I do want to replay a 1 to 2 minute clip of his answer to my question. Here it goes. You've been a free agent a couple times in your career. Would a major league team that's going to a minor league ballpark like the A's are affect your decision if they offered you, let's say, a contract?
Yeah, I think in most cases it probably wouldn't, but since it's the A's doing it and kind of knowing like the way that they sort of like have treated the players in the past and kind of not investing in the ball club and not investing in the way the players are treated and fed at the field and the way that their locker rooms have been, flooded with sewage for, numerous times, and just kind of hearing different things about the ownership group and stuff. I don't think I would want to do that, but maybe if the contract was good enough, I guess anybody would probably consider it.
After listening to Scott's response, I think it has a lot more to do with a minor league stadium. The A's ownership has a reputation of not treating their people well, which should come at no surprise to anybody. And it makes sense why Buehler was so quick in a decline without even seeing a formal offer. The A's already face challenges competing in the free agent market, given their modest payroll and rebuilding status. Now the added uncertainty of a move makes their pitch even tougher. Let's circle back to Buehler. He's a proven talent, a two-time All-Star, and a key figure in the Dodger 2024 championship run. Sure, his regular season numbers last year weren't stellar, a 5.38 ERA and a 1-6 record, but he turned it on in October. He finished the postseason with 13 consecutive scoreless innings, including a clutch 9th inning in Game 5 of the World Series. For the A's, signing Buehler would be huge. And granted, we're not getting Buehler. He already said he's not coming. But there are a lot of pitchers and possibilities we can get into that are similar to a Walker Buehler. Someone with veteran leadership that could anchor a young rotation and guide them through the rebuilding process. Upside potential. A multi-year deal gives a player like Buehler time to recapture his all-star form after recovering from 2 Tommy John surgeries. But it's hard to convince a player like Buehler to join a team with no permanent home. The A's finished the 2024 season with a 69-93 record, a marked improvement from their dismal 50-win, 112-loss finish in 2023. Now, I'm a huge Mark Kotsay guy. Think the A's are very lucky to have him as their skipper, and he deserves credit for steering the team through a tough rebuild. But the road back to contention is still very long. And here's the kicker. The relocation complicates everything. Convincing free agents to join a team in flux is like trying to sell a house that hasn't been built yet. Playing in a temporary venue risks alienating what's left of their fan base, which I have touched on too many occasions. With limited revenue opportunities at a smaller venue, the A's will need to get creative with their finances. But not all hope is lost. The A's have been here before. They have succeeded with low payrolls, smart trades, and player development. I always think back to the 2012 A's, which I spoke about on Friday. Could they pull off a similar feat in this new chapter? Maybe. The A's relocation saga underscores a broader question. How do you build a winning team when your future feels uncertain? Here's what the A's need to do. They need to focus on young talent, which they have. Develop their farm system and find hidden gems who don't mind the temporary setup. Embrace creative recruiting. Sell free agents on the opportunity to lead a rebuilding franchise and be part of a future Las Vegas dynasty. The culture is incredible, I think, in Oakland when you are talking about baseball on the field. When you have every single individual on that team without a guaranteed contract creates culture and it creates chemistry. As Kotze put it, quote unquote, we are a baseball team first. Keeping that focus can help the A's weather this transition. The A's have to take a unique approach, a strategy to get players that fit what they need, which is a third baseman and starting pitching. We will dive into that strategy and what players I feel fit the strategy up next. This episode is brought to you in part by Omaha Steaks. Nothing delivers comfort and joy quite like the unrivaled quality and taste of Omaha Steaks. This year, skip the holiday hustle and bustle and save 50% off site-wide during their cyber sale at omahasteaks.com. Plus, get a $30 reward card when you shop early and score an extra $30 off with promo code MLB. With 5 generations of experience, Omaha Steaks consistently delivers the world's best steak experience. And their gifting experts have made it easy to deliver the perfect gift with thoughtfully curated gift packages, starting at $89.99. From legendary steaks to mouth-watering desserts and more. Save 50% off site-wide during the cyber sale at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $30 off with promo code MLB and a $30 reward card when you shop early. That's 50% off at OMAHA steaks.com and an extra $30 off with promo code MLB. Minimum purchase may apply. Okay, the strategy sucks, but I don't really see any other way than doing it this way, which is basically acquiring high-priced underperformers or injury-riddled players that other teams are eager to unload. Why these type of players, you ask? Well, I'll tell you why. The studs and the players the A's have are young prospects, players you build around, players you don't trade. And that is who teams want from us. But the A's don't want to deal these players, and understandably so, and hope that they are a shell of a player when they first signed their big contract. But what you are getting is an underperforming player who makes a lot of money. First up, DJ LeMahieu, Once a star for the Yankees, LeMahieu's future in New York is murky at best. He's dealing with a laundry list of injuries: hip impingement, foot fractures, ligament damage that have kept him off postseason rosters since 2020. He has 2 years and $30 million left on his contract. The Yankees might be ready to cut ties. Enter the A's for a team that thrives on taking chances. DJ's low batting average, 204 in 2024, and declining mobility might not scare them off. Why would the A's even consider this? The cost? If the Yankees are willing to eat part of his salary, the A's could snag a once elite player at a steep discount. LeMahieu's clubhouse leadership and occasional flashes of brilliance was a sight to behold. He was a 2-time batting champion. Next up, Jeimer Candelario, Cincinnati Reds, signed a $45 million deal. He hasn't exactly lit up the stat sheet, batting .225 with 20 bombs in 2024. The Reds have a crowded infield and are reportedly open to trading him for next to nothing, as long as the acquiring team eats his salary. This is a classic A's move. Why, you ask? I'll tell you. The A's need a bat in the middle of their lineup. And while Candelario's production has dipped, 20 homers are nothing to scoff at. If he bounces back, great. If not, the A's aren't investing much beyond his existing contract. For the Reds, this trade is about freeing up payroll to focus on other areas. For the A's, it's about finding hidden value. Lastly, Robbie Ray, the 2021 Cy Young Award winner, has had a rough go of it lately, coming back from Tommy John surgery and managing just 30 innings in 2024. With 2 years and $50 million left on his deal, Ray is staying with the Giants, but speculation about a potential trade hasn't gone away. Would the A's pursue someone like Ray? It seems unlikely due to his hefty contract and injury history. But with the Giants potentially eating some of that money, it's not entirely off the table. We did that last year with Ross Stripling, even though that contract was significantly lower than what Ray is earning. The idea of this strategy and the approach might seem odd, but there's a method to the madness. By targeting players whose teams will subsidize their contracts, the A's save money while still adding recognizable names. Many of these players have something to prove, which can lead to unexpected production. Adding once great players, even in decline, can create a buzz around a struggling franchise. But let's be real, this is a gamble. The A's aren't operating with the same resources as larger market teams, and their strategy often feels more like patchwork than progress. Or maybe, hey, we don't sign any of them and just go with our young talent. Speaking of young talent, Colby Thomas has heads turning. Today's episode is brought to you in part by FanDuel. When I personally look at a sports book, there are two things that are most important to me. Is it easy to deposit? And more importantly, is it easy to withdraw? FanDuel checks both boxes for me. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Colby Thomas is no question a rising star. And right now, that star is shining on the world stage. He dominated the minors and is now showcasing his talents on the international stage. Colby Thomas has emerged as a player to watch in the world of baseball. As we know, in 2024, Thomas proved himself as one of the top hitting prospects in the Athletics organization. 277 batting average, .905 OPS, 31 bombs, 44 doubles, 5 triples, 15 stolen bases, 92 RBIs, all in 132 games. Among minor league leaders in slugging percentage with a .563 and isolated power with a .287. And according to A's assistant GM, Billy Owens, Colby Thomas has big thunder and a wide array of impressive tools. His high energy and aggressive motor are impactful. Owens even compared Thomas to MLB slugger Tyler O'Neill, emphasizing his strength, power, and athleticism. In the fall of 2024, Thomas represented Team USA in the Premier 12, a prestigious international tournament. What is the Premier 12? It features the world's top 12 national teams, as ranked by the WBSC at the end of 2023. Second, in importance only to the World Baseball Classic and the Olympics, a proving ground for players and nations aspiring to reach baseball's global elite. For Thomas, it was a chance to represent his country while facing some of the best talent in the world. He homered in back-to-back games during the Super Round at the Tokyo Dome, facing powerhouse teams Japan and Chinese Taipei. Showcased that power that made him a standout in 2024. For me personally, Thomas's performance is similar to that of Houston Astros Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell, which to me is a fitting comparison. Like Bagwell, Thomas combines raw power with athleticism and a knack for delivering in big moments. Thomas has drawn attention not just for his international success, but for his rapid rise to the A's minor league system. What's next, you ask? Spring training 2025. Thomas will get a strong look from the A's major league coaching staff in Zona. Kotze has already said he's a player we have identified as someone that can have an impact in this organization. It's still a big jump, but it's great to have that type of talent. Now, major league debut, he's expected to patrol the outfield for the A's at some point in the 2025 season. When that is exactly, time will tell. Why Thomas matters for the Athletics? A potential cornerstone player as the A's rebuild their roster. He has a combination of power, speed, defense, which makes him a versatile asset. He has that young energy that brings excitement to a team looking to make strides in the coming years. Colby Thomas is a name to remember, not just for A's fans, but for anyone who loves baseball. His success in 2024 and at the Premier 12 is just the beginning of what could be an outstanding career. Stay tuned as we follow the Colby Thomas journey all the way to the big leagues and beyond. He has the potential to bring another banner to the A's franchise. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen today. For your second listen, find Locked On MLB. Baseball guru Sully brings a daily blend of humor and baseball, keeping you updated on every rumor and story throughout the offseason. Find Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Remember, our game show debuts tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be sure you tune in. The questions are for all levels. And if you have an interest in being a future contestant, which I am sure most of you will after tomorrow, email us at lockedonathletics@gmail.com or message me at Locked On A's on X, Twitter, whatever you may call it. Thanks for tuning in, and I will check you out tomorrow.